Hello everyone, I'm Stacy. Welcome back to my channel, Time to Teach. When talking to students or reacting to behavior in your classroom, have you ever felt like you came on too strong, or you used certain wording that you thought about afterwards and you didn't feel comfortable with? You didn't use a calm voice, and even after you told your students in your classroom what to do and what to change regarding their behavior, and they're still using the incorrect behavior? If so, I'm here to help with that today. So in today's video, I will share ways to redirect students using clear commands when they have gone off track in your classroom. The resource that I used, and some of you may have seen it before, I've had this book for many years, and I skim through it every summer before the new school year starts, just to reflect on the wording that I'm choosing in the classroom, because wording, it's very meaningful. The words that you use are very meaningful, and especially children of any age, in the primary grades, they're like sponges. They're going to remember everything you say. So this book is called The Power of Our Words, and it's written by Paula Denton. She was a teacher for many, many years, and now she has her doctorate in education. She has many books out there, but this is absolutely my favorite. And if you're interested in this book, I will leave a link in the description below so you can purchase it and check it out for yourself. I think it is very helpful and a good resource to use when you want to change how you're talking to your students so they can be successful. And the book's focus is teacher language that helps your children learn, and that's like her whole point. And she discusses using a calm and focused and a clear voice when talking to students. She does an overview throughout different areas of how to talk to students, how to listen to them, really listen to them, the wording that you're using during conversations and in small group instruction, whole group instruction. She touches areas on like giving the commands with redirecting language, seeing children and naming their strengths, not just telling them good job. She gives you other wording that you can use, and I will actually be talking about that in an upcoming video. She talks about their social learning, understanding the message in their words, seeing children and naming their strengths, as I mentioned, and then at the end she just kind of puts it all together, how to use the language throughout the entire classroom. She also talks about, I'm looking at my notes, I have notes everywhere, as you guys know. She talks about using open-ended questions, reminding language, and the area that I want to focus on from this book for this specific video is redirecting language, giving clear commands when children have gone off track. So they know the expectations in your classroom, but they've gone off track. And as I mentioned in my classroom management video, when you say a lot of commands to children at once, like, why are you doing that? You know what you're supposed to be doing. Pick all those blocks up, put them away, and na. And what they're hearing is, they're just hearing nagging. This part of the book focuses on a clear command with limited wording. Just instead of going on and on and on and on, and the child has already lost focus after like 5 seconds, and we know that as primary teachers, or higher grade teachers as well. But they're only going to listen to you for a certain amount of time, so you have to have a clear command, have it focused, and use a calm voice, because students don't respond to yelling. They don't respond to sarcasm. That just belittles them. That just makes them feel like, my teacher doesn't care about me. And am I guilty of that? Yes, I am. And I am not going to sit here and say that I have never used sarcasm or ever raised my voice. That's why I go back to this book, I refocus, I reflect, and I really think about those things that I need to change for the upcoming year, because I don't want to talk like that. I don't want people to talk to me that way, and I teach in my classroom, teach others like you want to be treated. So this is a practice. This is something that we have to work on continually for us to change that wording. It is a practice. It's something that's just not gonna, you're gonna read the book and it's gonna change overnight. There has to be some consistent practice within it, because we're all human. We all get frustrated, and we're gonna stop it right away, and we're gonna talk, and they're just gonna be sitting there like, what do you want me to do, Miss Hampstead? So it's just really neat how she focuses on using a calm voice, be direct, be firm, and they'll follow through with it. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So within redirecting language, there are 5 subtopics. So I'm going to discuss the 5 areas, and I have my notes right here because I don't want to skip anything. So like I said, the main topic is redirecting language, giving clear commands when children have gone off track. So that's the area we're going to focus. And the 5 subtopics are be direct and specific. Number 2 is name the desired behavior. Number 3 is keep it brief. Number 4 is phrase redirections as a statement, not a question. So in other words, don't ask your students to do something, and I'll elaborate on that more. And follow through after giving the redirection. So I'd like to give an example of each one, starting with number 1. And number 1 is be direct and be specific. So for example, say you're in a morning meeting, and all of a sudden you see Danny, and he is going like this with his arms. And he's bothering Sarah and Sammy next to him on both sides. So both of the kiddos are sitting with their hands in their lap, but Sammy is going all over the place like this. Okay? So you want to be direct and be specific. So simply stop what you're doing, say to David, hands in your lap. Look directly at him, be direct, be specific, and say, Danny, hands in your lap. Or you could even show him. And then you're going to observe him to make sure he does it and follows through with it. Okay? So, because normally we want to say, and I've said this before, I'm waiting for someone to put their hands in their lap. Well, you're going to be waiting for, a little while, because especially in first grade, and I'm speaking from experience, and a lot of my experience is in first grade, all of a sudden everyone's going to get off track. They're going to be looking around, oh, who's the person that has their hands out of their lap? So instead of saying that, look at Danny, say, Danny, hands in your lap, and watch him until he does it. And if for some reason he is one of your special kiddos that cannot follow through on that direct command, then obviously there's something else that you have in place for that child. But 99% of the time it's going to work if you're direct and specific. Okay, so number 2 is name the desired behavior. So, redirection. So when we're talking about redirections, they work best when we name the wanted behavior rather than naming the unwanted behavior. So we just want to name the desired behavior, just like we told Danny, put your hands in your lap. We don't want to name the unwanted behavior and say, I see someone wiggling their arms all over the place and distracting other students, because that just takes time. It takes your energy, and everyone else is going to lose focus and look for that person that is wiggling their arms around. When we see bad behavior, impulse to call out the child, we're going to feel that impulse to call out that child, right? Because we want to stop it so we can continue with our lesson. Instead, like I said, just name the desired behavior. So example, why are you all whispering? You know better. So instead of mentioning the unwanted behavior when someone else is talking during that morning meeting, say someone else is sharing, and all the students are expected to have level 0 while that person's sharing. So instead of saying, why are you all whispering when you know to yada, 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 because that's what it sounds like to them, just say, hands in your lap, eyes on speaker, and wait for them to do it. So we want to be just name the desired behavior. Okay, let's go on to number 3. And number 3, keep it brief, which I'm trying to do in this video so it's not so long. So number 3, keep it brief. And you can see as I'm going on, they all just connect together. You know, keep it brief. Say the desired behavior. Be direct, be specific. So they all just connect. So keep it brief. When children need redirection, the fewer words we use, the better. So the fewer, write that down, the fewer words we use, the better. And like I've said, when we start going on and on and on and nagging and nagging and nagging, and I'm a mom too, and I have to practice this with my own 3 children, because if I go on and on and on, they're already thinking about something else, and I'm over here, wah, 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 wah. They're not even listening to me. Okay, so we need to use less words. Just get to the point, be specific, give the direct order. Yeah, order doesn't sound great, but you know, just give that command and watch for them to follow through. So, say, for example, everyone is doing silent reading and you're working with a student, you're, assessing a student, and everyone else is supposed to be silent reading, and students keep getting up and going to get books, and they're getting books out of the library, and they're leaving books on the floor, your classroom library, and they're leaving books on the floor, and they're going to get another book. You get up from that student, and you start going off. Why are you leaving books all over the floor and getting a book without putting a book away? And because that's just a natural impulse, and we get frustrated and we're trying to test someone, but we just have to take a breath. Sometimes I even count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a breath, stand up, walk over, keep it brief, and just say whatever you call your kiddos, firsties, ladies and gentlemen, class, put all the books away, please. And they're going to look at you and they're going to say, okay. And you know what? If they don't say okay the first time, get their attention, use your attention signal, class, or whatever it may be, put all the books away, keep it brief, watch and observe. Your eyes are on them while they're putting the books away, okay? So, for number 1, be direct, be specific. Number 2, name the desired behavior. Number 3, keep it brief. We're going to go on to number 4. So number 4, phrase redirections as a statement, not a question. And I know that I do this all the time. I say please and thank you all the time because that's how I was raised. I always say please, I always say thank you. However, we do not always have to say please and thank you to our students. And I know we're going to do that out of habit because we are also trying to teach them character. And we're trying to teach them respect. But we don't have to ask them to do something. We want to phrase redirections as a statement, not a question. So example, would you come and sit by me? So instead of saying, would you come and sit by me, be brief, be direct, say, come sit by me. That's all we have to say, come sit by me. Instead of saying, can you please go put your backpack away? Thank you, sir. Say, all backpacks are on their hooks. Just let's keep it simple, keep it brief, say the direction, and so you can move on and keep doing what you're there to do, which is teach the kids. Students need to have limits and not words that give them the illusion that they have a choice. So when you say, can you please go put your backpack on your hook? Thank you. So they're going to, they might keep talking to their friend, or they might say to you, well, you didn't say to do it right now. So it's kind of giving them an illusion that they have a choice, that they can wait. So we want to be more direct with them, be brief, state exactly what we want them to do. And like I already talked about that, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes, but again, don't think not saying please and thank you as being impolite. We are adults, and we don't have to ask them to do something. It's okay to tell them to do something. It's not going to make them think that we're mean. They know our heart. They know what kind of people we are. They know we're nice people. just being direct and being brief is just going to make everything move quicker. And as a teacher, I want everything to move quicker, because students wasting time equals less time for instruction. It really does. And those minutes add up. They really do. If you were to, and Fred Jones actually talks about this, and I know I'm getting off track, but if you were to add up all those minutes that are wasted on transitions from the moment that the students walk in and from the time you go home, it can actually add up to 30 minutes to an hour that could be used for instruction time. So it really does make a difference if we're being direct and we're being brief. And the last one is number 5. And I've already mentioned this a little bit, and it's follow through after giving the redirection. So observe the child to see if he or she has actually followed through with that redirection that you have given them. And that doesn't mean, you know, go over there and stand over their shoulder and I'm waiting to see. You should never say I'm waiting, because they should do it exactly when you say to do it. And I'm working on that. I'm working on saying that, because if you're going to wait, they're probably going to take their time. So I'm practicing this upcoming year, to try and get that out of my vocabulary, and it's hard, but I'm going to try my best. By following through, when the student is following through after giving redirections, we show students that we mean what we say, we set limits, and we are firm. So once we say it, all we have to do is just kind of look over there. You can be smiling. You don't have to be like, you know, giving them the teacher look. Sometimes, I mentioned this in my other video though, the teacher look does work good with certain students. Sometimes you can just look at them, you can just go like this, you don't even have to say Danny, hands in your lap, you can just look. But after you do give that redirection, give them a little glance, see that they did it, give them a thumbs up, move on. That's it, done. And they're going to know that you're proud of them, that they listened the first time you asked them to do something. Okay? So when you do this, you don't have to say a consequence after your redirection. Set those expectations. Expectations are important at the beginning of the year, and they will know to act on the redirection without the threat of a consequence. So instead of saying, if you all don't clean up these library books right now, I'm taking 5 minutes off your recess. We shouldn't have to talk to our students like that if we have set expectations. And we shouldn't have to talk to our students like that if we have set up those expectations and we have followed through with those expectations. We should never have to talk to them that way. When it comes to us bribing them, because that's pretty much what we're doing, we're bribing them to get them to listen to us. So at that point, they really don't have respect for us. They really don't. And I mean, take that as you will. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, but they really don't. And I've done that before, and it breaks my heart because I work so hard on classroom management. And I don't want to say that. I don't want to have a consequence for my student in order for my students to listen to me. So I'm going to close on that point. So again, if you would like to purchase this book, or you're interested in looking it up online or looking up the author, her name is Paula Denton, and I will leave that in the description below. The title of the book is The Power of Our Words, because again, fellow teachers, our words are so powerful for our kiddos. So, you know, let's just always keep that in mind and keep working on it together. Please leave me your questions and comments below. I would love to talk to you if you have any questions, or you can email me, and my email will be in the description box below. My next video will be on 5 simple phrases not to use in the classroom anymore. So that will be my next video. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and you have a takeaway from this, because that is my goal for this channel, that something from this video that you're going to take and go use in your classroom. So please let me know and follow up with me and let me know how it all works out. And I will see you in the next video on Time to Teach. Thanks everyone. Bye.